Welcome everyone. This is the working group device management meeting for May 16th. We are falling under the CNCF Code of Conduct, which basically means be excellent to each other. It looks like we don't have any particular topics to discuss, so it's, I guess, another round of open questions, status updates. Well, to be honest, I don't have much. I see Omar is here. I think you are probably curious about CAP reviews. Yeah, I know that it's not
Yeah.
so much we need to get to.
Yeah, I was also interested about um, would it be helpful if I started with um, maybe a POC implementation of how I see my CAP being implemented and just sharing it maybe in Slack or something just to let reviewers, when they get to it, have an idea of what I had in mind?
Yeah. Um, it definitely helps to do a proof of concept. Uh, for primarily at this point, for your own confidence that what you are proposing can be implemented. It has been my experience that sometimes even if you just write a CAP, it all sounds plausible, and then you hit some really unexpected snags when you try to do the implementation.
Yeah.
And then we need to go back to the design phase and basically throw away some of the things that we thought we had agreed upon in terms of API and so on, and start over. It's not the end of the world. We've done CAP reviews and then merged an implementation that differed considerably from the CAP. The uh, what is called native resources CAP completely got
Mhm.
renamed to node allocatable, for example, as part of the initial implementation. So that's not unusual, but it costs time, and uh, it basically means that you lose time when it comes to the implementation if you first to um, wait for a CAP review. The downside is that you are risking going down a path that doesn't work out, and where someone uh, yeah, I think that's also what Francesco says
Yeah.
on the chat. You are risking basically that you do some work that needs to be thrown away. So it's a bit up to you whether you want to wait or
Mhm.
go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'll write something up because I think that my change specifically isn't too major, and I think if it will help along with reviews, I think that that would be helpful also for me to get it reviewed or approved
Yeah,
faster. And of course, nothing from my POC implementation would be wouldn't force anything. Not either me or the reviewers. Anything is up for review. Anything can change. I understand that, but I think it would be helpful. So I think I'll do that.
yeah. And for those not seeing the chat, it is indeed so that the proof of concept is really just exploratory and
Yeah.
might have to be redone. Yeah, that's I think the key point. I don't think anyone reviewing the CAP will want, or well, they might want to look at the proof of concept PR just to know that it's there, and maybe look at some details for further understanding. But that means that if it's not clear from the CAP, that the CAP might have to be improved.
Yeah.
So a proof of concept implementation can't be a substitute for a good, well-written CAP. Another downside, well, potential risk is that once you have the proof of concept, it's very tempting to put lots of details into the CAP, and that can have a negative effect too, because then the CAP review becomes a lot more intense, and the scope becomes larger. Don't put any implementation details into the CAP that aren't relevant for
Mhm.
understanding what it does, convincing people that it can be done. I think we have merged CAPs without any implementation details, and that just specified the goals, the rough architecture, and then sorted out all the rest in the implementation. And that's also fine.
Yeah, I agree. I tried my best to keep the cap at the API realm and at the problem statement and how the new API can solve the problem. That's why I didn't include any code paths or any specific code changes within the cap. And I will try to enforce that even after looking at the POC implementation. So I won't drag any implementation details back to the cap.
Yeah. One potential problem, but that can wait to beta, is that some of the production readiness questions are explicitly about source code to some extent. Like, how do you handle upgrade downgrade scenarios? That depends, or version skew. It's actually, I think the CAP template is a bit misleading in the sense that it asks about upgrade downgrades, but it doesn't really specify the key problem. That's one that every single CAP goes through, and that is the alpha to beta graduation. If you have alpha in version X, what happens if someone gradually updates a cluster to version X+1 where the feature is enabled? Such an upgrade will inevitably turn on the feature in the API server first. So there is a short time window where a user might create some object with the new feature, but the cluster itself hasn't been enabled to support the feature yet because the other control plane components are still old. That's actually the key question that needs to be answered and needs to be implemented already at alpha so that this step works well. And I think it hasn't been handled well for several features. Sidecar containers, I think, is the main one where the version skew window between kubelet and the control plane was actually much longer, perhaps up to a year, where the old kubelet didn't know what to do with sidecar containers and basically just did the wrong thing, completely confusing users. So in your case, I think the version skew window is very short because the control plane is supposed to be on the same major version except for this incremental cluster update phase.
Yeah. And
but it's still
I thought about that and took that into account. And since my change affects the API server and the scheduler only in the Kubernetes core components, and then it is opt-in by driver authors. So the behavior remains as it is today until a driver opts into it. That was my idea and my thinking of it when I wrote down the cap.
That sounds right. So basically, the upgrade sequence will be driver doesn't use the feature, API server gets updated, scheduler gets updated, driver gets updated. And in that order, we don't have any problems because at the time when the driver gets updated to publish resource slices with a feature enabled or depending on the feature, the control plane and the cluster is ready.
Yeah.
But it could also be that the driver is dynamically reacting to changes in the API server. It's not what we do right now. But theoretically, some client could do that. So some other DRA driver could be implemented to use the feature as soon as it sees it in the API server as being enabled. And then we still have this slight problem. What I've been recommending in some other DRA caps is that if we see a resource slice with a field that isn't supported, the allocator code or the schedule, probably in your case, it's the allocator code. We should just basically say, I can't handle this resource slice. I can't handle this device.
So
that means
instead of like ignoring the unknown field,
yes,
okay.
yes. Basically, I think we do that by ignoring the device. So basically, don't do something that's wrong. Return basically skip over the device, knowing that that the code can't properly support it. And I think that's a better solution than doing the wrong thing, because doing the wrong thing means that we end up scheduling a pod in this short time window in a way that it can't run properly. I need to look at VCAP again, but this is a rough idea. I presented that at the SIG architecture meeting, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, where this feature gate checking we basically clarified that a short if check that prevents bad things is better than ignoring unsupported fields.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I have it set up like that in the KEP today. I think what I wrote down was to ignore the unknown field if there's a skew between the API server and the scheduler to basically keep the current behavior. But I agree that your approach is much safer. Worst case, the next scheduling cycle would do right by the user instead of falling back.
Except that if the pod has been scheduled, there is no going back. The user has to detect that something bad happens, delete the pod, and that's the bad outcome that we want to prevent.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
So other than just really getting back to your KEP and reviewing it, do we have anything else to discuss? Who else do we have on call? Vishal, do you have anything that you want to bring up? I think you have a few pending PRs.
Yeah.
I don't remember whether we are blocked on anything, except waiting for perhaps reviewers.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking for you on those PRs, and also like I'm okay to pick up like issues to like any nearer milestone you want to achieve on roadmap.
Yeah. So let's look at our project board for a second. I haven't done the triaging, so we have a few issues in new that I need to move to suitable columns. Some of these are just general Kubernetes PRs that are hitting our branches in the source tree. So I can basically move out some of those. The more interesting is for a ready column. That's the issues that don't have an assigned owner. And I think John Hoon has created, well, that's a person that I don't know, but that's not wrong. So basically, a few issues showed up where someone pointed out that examples are missing. Perhaps that was coordinated with John. Yeah. So we haven't tried these issues, so I don't know whether they are valid. So maybe look at things that John already commented on, like this one. So these are things that might need some help, but I don't know exactly what the status is. This one, I agree with that one. Where do we stand?
Yeah.
Yeah, to do. Yeah, I think you have a PR pending for the scheduler perf.
Yeah.
And we are stuck on deciding about the expected performance for the partitionable devices and consumable capacity features. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to bring that up with Morten and Pang, who are, well, Pang sometimes is here, but Morten has been silent, so we need to get them involved.
I think he started looking into it. He has commented on the issue as well, PR as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just have to wait.
Okay. Meanwhile, okay, I will take a look at this ready column and I see if I can pick up any issue from there and start working on it.
Yep. That may be good. And here's one that we can close because we have it as alpha. Yeah, I'm not logged in right now, but I'll do another sweep. And if you see something that's clearly outdated, you can also leave a comment as a reminder that it's unclear whether the issue still needs work and ask questions.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then we can all get some time back. And thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.